Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Siva Prasad, and I lead the enterprise data platform at ServiceNow. Been with ServiceNow for 9 years, and along with me today.
Hey everyone, Ankit Agrawal here. I lead the data platform for ServiceNow. We are a central data analytics team. I'm based out of India and work with Siva very closely.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the ServiceNow, and then we will start about EDP, the enterprise and data platform that is powering or enabling our ServiceNow business users, how we built it, and also most importantly, with the session we're going to talk about migration. So as of this year Q1, we migrated our entire HANA data platform to Snowflake. So we're going to share the details about how did we do that, or why did we do that, what were the challenges, and learnings, or the change management, and more details we will share. So this session will be useful if you are in the process of migrating from, or thinking of migrating from legacy databases to Snowflake, or already in the middle, and if you are thinking maybe challenges and how other customers were working, or if you would like to learn more details, we will cover the details. Or now that we completed, we're also doing more innovations on Snowflake, and that's going to help you. We will share the couple of innovation projects that what we already started and what we are also thinking. Those details also we will share today. Well, few of you may be already aware of ServiceNow. It is a Santa Clara HQ-based company. We offer many digital intelligent workflows for enterprises. Products like ITSM, IT Service Management, ITOM, IT Operation Management, ITBM, HR, FinOps, Security HR, many other products. So let me just play a video.
The world's a competitive place. In the race to succeed, companies have used technology to supercharge their business. More apps, more data, more systems, none of which talk to each other. That's right, more silos. And as technology becomes even more specialized, those silos only get deeper and the gaps between them wider. That's where we come in. ServiceNow is a platform that goes in a different direction. One secure, customizable, extensible, low-code platform that delivers the outcomes you want faster. Employee productivity and efficiency? Check. Customer growth? Check. Scale business-critical operations? Check. Technology and operational excellence? Check. Digitize unique business processes? Check. Realizing value faster? Would you like that in days or weeks? Either way, definitely a check. That's why ours is the unifying platform for digital business that says yes. Invest in tech or invest in talent? Yes. Optimize for today or innovate for tomorrow? Yes. Grow the top line or protect the bottom line? Yes. Let's put yes to work. The world works with ServiceNow.
Great to be part of ServiceNow family. Well, first, let me start with EDP, Enterprise Data Platform. At ServiceNow, we are centralized data platform. We provide analytics to almost all the business functions like sales, marketing, finance, HR. It's a single data platform, and they're not data marts or multiple databases. It's just a centralized one team that we power the business with the analytics. Our vision is to make a ServiceNow data-driven company. And there are three goals that what we have. The first one-stop shop for trusted enterprise data. We will cover the detail, what does it mean in the next slide. So how we are powering our enterprise data platform with the different data signals, and what knowledge graph we are building, and how we are enabling the users with this data platform. Those details we'll cover in the next slide. Second is the data democratization at scale. So we want to empower all the power users in the company with the data. We want every business user to take the decisions with the right analytics and data and analytics. The third one, the platform, it's a 4S is what we call simple, secure, speed, and scale. The platform should offer. So that's one of the reasons I'm here. So that's why we migrated to Snowflake, and we will cover those details as well. And what you see on the right side is it's just a MAU, our monthly active users. ServiceNow has 22K employees, And 45 to 50% of employees, they leverage analytics. They access every day thousands, or if I accumulate for a million, like for a month, millions of clicks. They access our analytics either through the BI tools or the self-serve, and we push the data to the application. All those details we will cover the details. So, well, why we just added, that shows the importance. Their employees, they are depending on this. So if you have a similar, if it's similar platform, or you are aiming to build a similar platform, we will share our experience and how did we do this whole migration, what's our vision, and more details in the later slides. Okay.
So with the goal of making ServiceNow data-driven, we'll double-click what does that really mean. So this is the entire customer journey, and we as Central Data Analytics team in ServiceNow support and enable the entire customer journey. That starts from awareness and prospecting, leading into the leads, nurturing, creating opportunities, going through the sales funnel and the life cycle associated with sales. And then when customers buy ServiceNow, they go into the product usage, implementation, all that life cycle, and we realize value. And that leads to additional opportunities for cross-sell, upsell, or renewal cycles. So this entire customer journey is supported by one central team. What does this also mean? Interaction with all the business units, right? So be it sales, be it marketing, be it customer success, be it product usage, and so on and so forth. But to enable this entire customer journey, we use about 45 to 50 different products in ServiceNow. And those operational systems, be it CPQ for configure price quote, for lifecycle of sales, we use a CRM system. So those kind of systems, there are about 45 to 50 different systems we use within ServiceNow. Now, what does that mean for us? To enable analytics for end-to-end picture and correlation and growth analytics, we need to know data from all the data sources, operation systems. And that's what we ingest into EDP, what we call Enterprise Data Platform, which we're building on Snowflake, and tackling very specific problems as we scale. Then how do we enable security and governance in place? How do we enable the self-serve and data access at scale for everybody? The data volume is growing, complexity is growing. So how do we simplify all of this? And that's where we decided to move from SAP HANA to Snowflake, because SAP HANA being in memory, the opportunity for scale was quite limited. But being a Snowflake, the storage and the compute is virtually unlimited. And that gives us significant scale for what we want to do in future. So that's the motivation and the context. So foundational business needs. There are very specific foundational business need any data company will have, any data team will have, right? Security is paramount. We can't afford to have privacy breach. We can't afford to have security leakage of any kind. So that's where in our previous world in SAP HANA, we had ecosystem around user-based access, role-based access, controlling security at the app level. But with the Snowflake coming into the picture, we can restrict at the data level. And that's a tremendous boost, because now we don't have to implement security at n places, we can implement at one. So that gives scale. Execution. We spoke about the storage and compute. So HANA being in memory, we have to only scale vertically. There is very limited opportunities to scale horizontally with the amount of complexity we have in our ecosystem. So Snowflake provided additional scale, and that was our foundational business need. So we started with that. And then operational ease. So with any on-prem system, we need regular enhancements and upgrades and those things, which limits us for ongoing speed of execution, what we want to do, right? Typically, any data team, any data needs are needed yesterday, right? We all know that. So to cater to those needs, how we do things in flight, how do we enable this migration in flight, while all those business needs are being served, we took that as a challenge and figured this out. So those were our foundational business needs.
Well, if you're all wondering, why ServiceNow? Why did we migrate to Snowflake? This slide provides the details. Well, for the simplicity, we put 8 buckets, and I will double-click few, and it might help you if you're in that similar journey. So the first one is the cost. Whether you are on-prem or Azure, AWS, doesn't matter. These are all expensive in-memory hardware. So the maintenance, the cost is it's just paramount for if you look at the cost. So that was one of the reasons. The second is of admin. Well, the systems comes with maintenance. If you want to do the simple upgrade, it used to cost more than $500,000. It's not just don't look at the software you already purchased, invested, but you need to build the VMs. Admins need to support. Engineers need to test it. We need to consider all the time. Now you're taking away your engineers' time for doing this upgrade support from innovation. That doesn't that considered, but it's by migrating to the SaaS kind of a platforms, it eases the admin. So we have to consider all the factors like with the SAP HANA and all the upgrades as well, and also the scalability. Few points Ankit already touched. To add a terabyte of VM, like a terabyte of memory, it could take months and quarters. You need a purchase order, you need a VM, and you need to talk to the vendors. If you're on-prem, you need a racks. Okay, do you have enough capacity to support your racks? Okay, now it would take even much further time. And as you are growing and adding up, like there is more business demands, and if the data is growing, okay, now more challenges. These are all in-memory, very expensive hardware, requires a lot of attention. So, well, that was another reason for us to look for a different platform. And the ease of use, right? We're looking for a product which would make engineers' life easy. They should be easily able to, they should focus on the business, help the top line, bottom line, than, maintaining the complex code and whatnot. And it is also difficult to bend the traditional dimensional models on HANA. So there are many reasons, and our tech depth was started adding more and more and more. So we looked at different products, different databases, different data platforms, and we looked at our requirements, which would meet our demands, and then we decided to go with the Snowflake. We prepared a playbooks to present to our leaders, and why we need to go with the Snowflake. So a lot of effort we did, and finally we all decided to go with the Snowflake. Change is not easy, but always possible. The beginning is the hard. So, what we just covered is the beginning part. Now, it is maybe more messy in the middle. So, now how we can overcome that messy middle, right? We're going to cover in the next slide, sir.
So we talked about EDP and we talked about Snowflake, we talked about migration. We'll double click what SAP HANA ecosystem looked like in our previous world. So these are some numbers based on how we had everything in HANA, be it number of tables. We ingest data from about 60 different data sources, leading to about 2,000 tables in operation systems, the earlier slide that we saw. That leads into about 4,000 calc views, which were being built on HANA, multiple computation, metrics evaluations, and whatnot. How many of the folks here are familiar with HANA, by the way? Rich show of hands. Okay, great. Okay. So all of you are familiar with calc views and the graphical interface, which obviously is there on HANA, but not on a Snowflake. That's a deficiency on Snowflake. We were very cognizant about that. And we kept that in mind, that what it means in terms of translation of HANA calc views to Snowflake. Going further, each box here tells a story. And each box here, we have had a number of challenges that we went through. There were a number of unknowns that we went through. There are hundreds of them. Obviously, double-click each box will take a lot of time. We can talk offline on that. There are tons of learnings there in terms of, stored procedure on HANA being SQL, stored procedure on Snowflake being JavaScript. Right now, we have SQL support, but that time there wasn't. And stuff in HANA, everything in memory, but Snowflake doesn't have in-memory ecosystem. In SAP HANA ecosystem, we have SAP BI reports, which are accessing database from SAP HANA, are running reports real-time data. In Snowflake, we don't have it, right? So how do we overcome those scenarios? So every single box here tells a story, and we overcome a number of challenges as we went through our journey. And we made a lot of choices in any migration. When we do replatform, right, there are always so many choices to make. But one of the things that really enabled us, because we had clarity on our goals, what we want to accomplish, in what time frame, what are the compromises we will have to make. So we had absolute clarity on that, and we moved on. So moving further, one of the key learnings, and that's where we'll dive in a little bit high-level view of what those learnings were for us in terms of migration, is the peripheral tech. So when we started with Snowflake, we had to think greenfield. We had SAP HANA in our ecosystem for about 8 years, and we had a lot of touch points, whether it's data in or data out, going in and out of HANA. In a Snowflake, we had to build all of that from scratch. There is no migration, right? Only the SQL code of HANA can go into Snowflake as migration, but rest all is pure fresh build. So what do we do? So a lot of peripheral tech, for example, Matillion, HVR, or any of those peripheral tech came into the ecosystem along with the Snowflake. So we had to make decisions there that when we're bringing a Snowflake into the picture, and our goal is very clear, we want to migrate in less than equal to 1 year. And we had absolute clarity on that. So what are the choices we can make, how we can enable faster? And no tool, whether it's data ingestion or any other tool, is absolute complete. So we also have to figure out there as a learning that what are our must-haves versus nice-to-haves and take call. So we onboarded about half a dozen tools along with the Snowflake, taking those decisions. Then second, one key learning was forklift versus redesign. So we originally thought, okay, we have, Siva talked about a lot of tech debt that we had built in our ecosystem over a long period of time. Shall we take this opportunity as redesign? And when we moved to the Snowflake. And we did POC that requires little longer cycle. Given the goal was clear that we want to migrate in less than equal to 1 year, we had to make another strategic choice that let's make forklift rather than redesign. So change the house and then we will reorder the house in a Snowflake. So that was another thing. Cost projection and risk profiling. So all those things, come with multiple unknown challenges in any migration that can emerge. So we need to figure out, right? Not all the unknowns that we learn through the journey will be solvable. Not all the unknowns that we discover, some of them resulted into the Snowflake product enhancement. So we work very closely with the Snowflake team, and that's where we fed a lot of those things could result into product enhancement. Some of them resulted into bugs also. So they are in flight. So that was learning. Another thing was, how do we do in-house execution versus should we lead this as a vendor-based execution? So that's where we engaged a partner, LTI, for us, and made a strategic choice there to have this run as a parallel track while all the innovation and all the existing projects are running in parallel. So it's a moving migration. Nothing was stopped. We had a very limited freeze period, and that was another icing on the cake, the complexity that it adds. Last but not least, in any migration of this scale, communication becomes very, very important. And given the 20,000 employee scale of ServiceNow, and everybody is data-driven, takes data-driven decisions. We have 11,000 people using analytics data products every day. How do we make sure that all of them are aware that we are moving to Snowflake? There's no more touch point of HANA. How do we make sure that we enable all of them to know about a Snowflake? So the change management aspect, developers, the engineers who are very familiar with HANA ecosystem, connection strings and Python and PO and whatnot, have to all change to Snowflake. So how do we start communicating? What are our milestones? How do we enable this entire thing in less than equal to 1 year? That thing was very clear. So to enable that, we evolved a microsite so that is one-stop, single source of truth about the progress of this migration end-to-end. So this is where we started disseminating information, where we are, what we're trying to accomplish, plus also replicating success. So for example, if there is a finance team and they occurred an issue in a Snowflake while trying to convert things from HANA to Snowflake, then how do we take that knowledge and share it with sales team? Because they might experience the same challenge. So replicating the success of one team to other team. So all of those information we captured in microsite so that people can self-serve and learn. And that really proved very, very helpful. One of the other things from the strategy plan standpoint and roadmap and execution standpoint, we started a series called EDP Fridays. That's where a lot of folks came together to share what they're learning, what are the challenges they're experiencing, how do we enable this communication? Again, reinforcement on communication across all the teams, because there are about 500 data engineers across ServiceNow, and various teams are using data in certain developer capacity, not just the consumer capacity. So in terms of clarity on success metrics, right? We're doing all this migration. There's a lot of complexity involved. There are a lot of cross-functional dependencies. All of that, how do we stay focused? What is our success criteria? How do we say this migration is successful? So having that clarity was super critical, super important. Timeline was one aspect, that 1 year is the time horizon we're keeping in mind. But in addition to that, performance benchmark. We can migrate, no problem. Report can still run, no problem. APIs can still run, no problem. But meet or beat the current system performance. That was one thing very clear. So that we can measure apple to apple and migration a success. Second thing, ability to scale. So with the Snowflake coming on board, we are able to isolate storage and compute, and we can run much heavier workloads than that we would have run on HANA earlier. So ability to scale certain jobs, that was another success metric. And then overall simplified governance and administration. So that's where, we spoke about security earlier, how we can enable security and administration much easier compared to on-prem HANA versus on-cloud Snowflake. So those three success metrics really led us to call the migration successful.
Well, change is always hard at the beginning, messy in the middle, but it's a beautiful or gorgeous at the end. We covered so far why it was hard and why it was messy, but now I'll cover what's the benefits or what's the advantages with this after the migration to the Snowflake. So what you see here is, the Snowflake is in the center, and the top, we listed a couple of ways our business users can consume the data out of our enterprise data platform. I'll double click a few of these. So the one way, it is a dashboards. So in the last few years, we invest a lot of time building a knowledge graphs. These are not isolated, a single dashboards. We proudly say we built a Wikipedia for data. So from one dashboard to the other dashboards, users can connect it. I'll give an example, like a CEO dashboard. An executive want to look at the pipeline, they can go to the pipeline. A leader can look at the sales leader. Or from the sales leader, they want to look at dissect the information at the product level, they can go to the products. So we made this whole knowledge graph or Wikipedia for data now that is getting powered by Snowflake. The second one, the self-serve. The way to make this success is publishing the right data set about the rules and dictionary, and that's a data dictionary is what. The third one is the data services. So this is interesting. We started just like many other companies as a warehouse companies, but we changed our name as a data platform. This is one of the reasons. We power the applications with the data, rather a point-to-point connect. It's a very complex, messy web, right? Rather, we bring the data to our data platform and we power the applications. So if a seller is in the CRM and if there is account is flagged as a renewal is address by some ML model, by telemetry data, or there is a change in the C-level, or we want to, there is some reason we flag that account as that risk. We actually push that information to the CRM. No swivel chair experience. Sellers they will see that information. So we push the data to more than 25 different applications. So it could be a planning system or .com or CRM, CPQ. We power the data either with the data or ML models. So that's the third one. Fourth one is the carts. It's a zero-click intelligence solution. It's a browser extension. If a user is searching a Google page and happen to be their customers, they don't need to go. It's just like if you're searching on a Google page, how on the right side it shows a company card. We built the dashboards or intelligence or analytics using the cards. So the information comes to the users rather they go into a dashboard or application. So that's the cards. And the next one is the Acno. ServiceNow, workflow company, we leverage our own workflows. So earlier I took an example like if a renewal is at risk, we trigger a playbook, we trigger ServiceNow workflows. And the sellers, they have to take a step A, B, C, okay. And then a closed loop. Once they have done, okay, this account is no longer at risk. It's a great, go ahead. So we trigger our ServiceNow workflows, leverage, that's the other pillar or other box, what you see about it. AI predictions, ML predictions, bunch of, the AI models were built, in terms of supporting the sales into the product or entire customer journey map that what earlier we presented and Ankit presented. We built a bunch of AI models to support the functions as well. And the data marketplace, this is where like a microsite and data dictionaries or business glossaries, all the users can come and understand like what data we have, what data sets we have. That's the last one. So this is, being a centralized team, so this is how all our ServiceNow employees can get benefited of by the analytics that what our data and analytics team is building. Okay. Well, you heard yesterday Frank or Christine talking about data use cases, have a data strategy, right? So we try to simplify and just put few areas where we are planning to invest more. Data security as the data, you saw that earlier. Ankit said 60, there was actually as of beginning of the year. Right now, we have a 70 plus applications data is in our data platform. And this number is growing. Every quarter we are receiving either 5 or 6 new applications or application gets replaced. So being a center of the company with the data, the security is very critical, paramount, and front and center. So, and self-serve, as the company is growing, we want to empower. Why just the 300? Why not 22,000 employees? How can we do that? So that's a second self-serve. Any data, any person, it doesn't matter, citizen, data scientist, citizen data, or anybody wants to be data hero in the company, we should be able to support them. That's our second goal. Okay. Data and platform as a service. Well, in the prior slide, I talked about APIs that say data as a service. But something new I started after migrating to Snowflake, that is a platform as a service. You may be wondering, Snowflake is a SaaS, what am I talking about? Platform as a service? Because I'm selling it internally, rather every department going with some other database, I'm actually powering the other departments. If they need any database, we will help them. Rather a different database, we are on data, again, APIs, ETL, ingestion, rather, we will support them with the data. So it's beyond the data platform. We're supporting the other departments as well. We will train them, handhold, onboard. So that way, it is easy to implement. And data sharing, there is no messy ETL within the company between different databases and whatnot. So that's just something that we started. 2 use cases we implemented successfully this year. So if you're already on the Snowflake, so that's just something maybe you could even take that as one idea. Governance, the governance is also like very important. The quality data, being a centralized team, it's our responsibility to make sure we provide the right data, because the business decisions are taken based on this data. So the governance, catalog, lineage, or a bunch of things under the governance initiative also we are working. The next one is the app integrations. So you saw the 70 apps. Why not every single app? Why should a business should come to us and ask, like, you know what, I want to integrate this data set? Why not we establish every app that what we use at ServiceNow and integrate, bring the data? That supports the self-serve at scale. So if the data is available, it's just one place, it makes it easy. And with the Snowflake, RLS, data security, everything, if we can implement, right? Voila. All the users will be, or all the business will be taking the decision based out of analytics, rather intuition or some Excel-based analysis. That's our vision as well. And new capabilities, Gen AI, I don't need to add, right? Anything you add AI now, it gets attention, prefix, suffix, doesn't matter. So we are also trying to see, there are few use cases we identify. We don't want to be behind. We want to be ahead of the curve. So we are also exploring in the Gen AI, and of course, Streamlit and other new capabilities that are launched by or announced by the Snowflake. We are also working on that. So with that, I would like to appreciate the partnership with the LTI. Well, it's a 4 quarters effort. You heard Ankit talking about thousands of objects, bunch of applications, more than 15 applications. How all this, like, we seamlessly migrated to Snowflake. We did not pause, or we did not ask the users to hold any business process. We did not ask our engineers to hold whatever the dashboard, churning the dashboard. Okay, go with ML, go with that. You need a data set? Yes. We did this parallelly. So there was no incidents, and very thanks to LTI and also Snowflake team. One thing we did was engage the RSAs, Resident Solution Architects. They helped in each phase. There are no 2 databases equal. So you will get into the challenges, what performance or some of the challenges. So engaging the Snowflake RSS was really helped us to accelerate this whole migration or unblocking the many challenges that what we encountered during that. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Yeah.